Hi, I'm Andrew Flushy, your Virginia traffic and misdemeanor defense lawyer, and here I'm going to continue my series on laws that motorists need to know about that are changing. The next law is the important one about reckless driving by speed. This is still waiting to be signed by the governor, but it looks like he likely will enact it into law, and so it would take effect on July 1st. So it's not effective yet, and it's not assigned yet, so you might want to keep in tune with this one. But basically, reckless driving by speed is currently any speed 20 or more miles over the limit in any zone. So for example, if you're going 55 and a 35, that's reckless by speed. Or it's any speed over 80 miles an hour. What the law does, the new bill that's pending that the governor will likely enact, changes the statute, so it basically means that reckless driving is any speed over 85 or any speed 20 or more. So the 20 or more rule stays, and we just increase the 80 mile an hour to 85 mile an hour. So the key thing that this does is on interstates where the speed limit is 65 or 70, it makes it where going in the low 80s is not reckless driving. So basically on I-95 here in the Fredericksburg, Spotsylvania, Stafford area, the speed limit is either 65 or 70 depending on where you are. And so if you're going 81 or 82, generally speaking, that would not be reckless driving by speed. Now I guess you could be charged with some kind of other reckless driving if you're doing something else that they think is reckless. But it would not be reckless by speed. Now here's the key thing to remember, is that this statute, if you get a ticket, let's say for 82 and a 65 in Stafford County, that would just be a speeding ticket under the new statute. It no longer would be considered reckless. But they added on a $100 additional fine. So you would have your normal statutory fine of $6 per mile, which for, let's say for 84 and a 65, that'd be $114. And then under the new statute, they'll tack on an extra $100. So it's a $214 ticket. Plus you'd have some court costs of about $64. So you're going to end up paying about $275 when it's all finished if you just pay the ticket. And then of course it goes on your driving record and you get points. So that's where it still is valuable to talk to an attorney such as myself to try to help avoid all that mess and those additional fines. The key impact, I don't think this will have that big of an impact, frankly. I do many reckless driving by speed cases. That's one of kind of the main things I do in addition to DUI defense. And what I see with most officers, frankly, is that if they get you at 82 or 83 miles an hour and it's basically 18 miles over the speed limit on the interstate, a lot of times they bump that down and they'll write you for 80 and a 65. So it's just a speeding ticket and you can just pay it. So I don't see this is going to have that big of an impact on the number of reckless driving by speed tickets, for example. I think we're still certainly see them at 85 miles an hour and above. And those written, those tickets that were all written at 80 and a 65 will actually now be written for 82 and a 65, 83 and a 65. And so you'll still get a speeding ticket, and so those numbers will be about the same. But if people just pay them, it is going to be an increase in revenue. So that may be one reason they kind of compromise to do this, to say, well, let's ease up a little on reckless driving by speed, but we'll make it back in some revenue. It's essentially what I think may happen with this law. So I think you'll still see a lot of reckless driving by speed tickets, but I think these speeding tickets will just be written as a they'll be written also as speeding like they always have been essentially, but it'll be a pricier ticket. So keep that in mind if you get one of these tickets for 80 to 85 miles an hour. It still may be very worthwhile to talk to an attorney for those. So remember, this law is not effective yet. Once the governor signs it, it will likely be in effect on July 1. So you may want to keep in tune with that and don't just start going 83 thinking it's just speeding, because right now that's still reckless driving. You can still get a reckless driving by speed ticket. Be sure to check out my playlist. I've got other videos on the cell phone bill, which you need to know about. And also we're going to talk next about school zone camera tickets. That's going to be crazy as well.